Do you know where I store my nuts? In the dishwasher.
Gotta keep your nuts clean. Hi guys, welcome to my video where today we're going to be reacting to what Dr. Mike eats in a day. If you've ever seen Dr. Mike, you've probably seen that, well, he probably eats very healthy judging by the appearance. And I don't judge it, but no need to judge me based on my appearance. Just want to give a little disclaimer before we begin. Don't judge my eyeshadow game today because it isn't as strong as it usually is. Although usually it is still not very strong, but today it's just like, it didn't work out, but I didn't want to take it off because I wanted to look like I'm putting an effort for you guys, although the effort wasn't executed as it should have been.
Hello, I'm Dr. Mikhail Varshavsky, but most know me better as Dr. Mike.
I can see why they call him Dr. Mike. I kind of wish they would have spelt that name out onto the screen so we could see what it looks like.
Here's everything I eat in a day. The first thing I do when I wake up is I grab a warm glass of water. Now, it doesn't have to be warm. It ideally has to be room temperature. If something is too cold, I feel like it aggravates my throat somewhat, decreases the circulation. You want to have all your blood flow in your throat to protect you.
Imagine living with him. You go to take something from the fridge, it's an extra hot day, so the drink is extra cold, and he's just there like, gotta think about that circulation. Facts.
I don't always eat first thing in the morning. I'm a big fan of intermittent fasting. I like doing the 16-8 window.
Although I usually fail at it, but you know, I try.
So you're only eating throughout 8 hours of the day, but I'm flexible with it. So if a certain day I want to go 14 hours without eating, or I want to skip intermittent fasting for a single week, that's fine. I think when you set up such rigorous demands on yourself, you're almost setting yourself up for failure. So I'm flexible with it. And lately I've fallen in love with my Vitamix blender, and I've been putting all sorts of fruits and vegetables in it to make a morning smoothie. And I feel like that gives me the vitamin.
Okay, things like this, like I always wonder, is it sponsored? I've fallen in love with my Vitamix blender. Like, why not just say blender? That's my question.
Mineral boost that I need to get throughout the day. You know, I've never been one who needed or enjoyed caffeine beverages. I went through all of medical school without needing coffee, which is crazy because I've pulled all-nighters. There was 24-hour clinical shifts that I need to be up for, and I was fine. But now with all these demands being placed on my time, hospital work, YouTube, TV, research that I need to be doing, I start my day with an espresso. I throw the pot in, I get my espresso in a little copper espresso, little mini mug. I love it because it's thermally layered and it doesn't allow me to burn myself. I sip on it.
Listening to his days makes me question whether I should be drinking coffee at all based on what I do with my days.
I get ready for the day. I look at the beautiful New York City skyline and I get inspired. That's my little strategy.
Good strategy. I'm not complaining.
Normally my lunch is around 1 p.m. That's when I get a break during my hospital time. I like to run out and get myself some Chipotle. I think I can really control what goes into my portions. I love the ingredients that they use.
If we're talking about Chipotle, I don't think Chipotle and portions go together. I feel like every time I eat there, I'm just extra full.
I'll tell you what my go-to meal there is. It's a salad bowl because there's a little bit less calories and carbs in that. I get brown rice. I think that's the healthier option of the two. A lot of greens. I get usually double the meat. I usually get chicken or steak or maybe a mix of two, but double the meat because I need that protein. I get the mild salsa, a little sprinkling of cheese, and you know guac is extra, but it's well worth it. So I definitely get a lot of guac in there. And I try and chow it down slowly because I like it so much, I can finish a bowl in like 30 seconds and it's not good to eat that fast. So I actively have to calm myself down and say, okay, eat slowly, eat slowly.
And that's me for every meal. Eat slowly, eat slowly. Because if you eat it fast, you're not gonna realize that you're full, and then next thing you know, you're having 2 servings of pasta when really you should be having none.
And the way that I sort of manage to do that is by having a water bottle with me, and I just sip on that water bottle in between my bites, therefore kind of calms me down. I actually take my eating during my travels very seriously. So when I go to a fast food restaurant, I still am able to figure out like a detective what can be healthy. So I look for things that have a lot of vegetables in them, green leafy vegetables, tomatoes. Then I get a protein source in there, whether that's chicken, beef, or even a vegan option. That's also great for me. And then if I'm gonna have a carb, I make sure it's a complex carb. Brown rice, whole wheat bread, all those are better options.
This video is exactly what I was expecting. I'm not disappointed.
Because your body takes longer to digest them, therefore it actually burns some calories and doesn't absorb all those simple sugars as rapidly, so it doesn't spike your insulin. That's always beneficial.
Based on how I eat, I think my insulin is always spiked. And if it wasn't spiked, now that's what would shock my body.
There's a few snacks that I like to chew on throughout the day. First and foremost are nuts. Now, I know a lot of people have specific favorites that they enjoy. For me, my go-to are almonds.
Oh, I was expecting him to say all nuts, but almonds are nice.
They're high in healthy fats. They keep me full throughout the day. They even have some protein content. So
Okay, I don't get when people tell you nuts keep you full all day. How many nuts are you eating? Like technically you're only supposed to have like a handful of nuts. How's that gonna keep you full? I mean, maybe because my insulin's probably so high and we don't even know.
I'm all about it. If I don't have nuts available, I also can bring a perfect bar with me. I don't know if you've heard of these.
Oh, nuts to go.
But it's basically a bar that is made only with superfoods. Some of them are even peanut or almond based. Now, you clearly know I'm nuts about nuts. And if you haven't seen my YouTube video, because my storage space in my New York City apartment is so limited, do you know where I store my nuts? In the dishwasher.
Gotta keep your nuts clean.
I'm not someone who gets hangry because when you're a resident during my training, my 3 years of family medicine training, there was times where you just couldn't eat. You had to keep working, you had to keep saving patients' lives or dealing with difficult circumstances. So I'm so used to going without food that it's not really a big deal.
Now I see that it's good that I didn't go down the medical career path because I get hangry. Oh, so hangry.
That's why I think intermittent fasting works so well for me. I actually have friends who get hangry and I don't quite understand them. If I'm having a cheat meal lunch on the weekend, well, let's say my buddies, I like to get a food that is social. For example, pizza. I love pizza. Getting an extra large pie with extra cheese, pepperoni, some veggies thrown in there. It's definitely not healthy.
Okay, it's a cheat meal. You don't gotta put vegetables on everything. Just saying.
But that's why it's a cheat meal. And you need to have a cheat meal. You need to reward yourself every now and then. If you're constantly holding yourself to rigorous standards that aren't realistic and you're never allowing yourself to have a slice of pizza, what kind of life are you living?
Okay, but what should I do when I reward myself all the time, even though I shouldn't be rewarded at all?
Dinner can get quite chaotic. I generally recommend not eating too close to bedtime, but sometimes I just don't have a choice because I'm just so hungry, but I still want to get 7 to 9 hours of sleep. When I do eat dinner, I generally don't cook it myself. When I do though, I do a pretty bang up job, not gonna lie. I'm a master grillsmith. So if I'm making steak, I'm making pork, I'm making chicken.
I'm surprised we didn't see any nuts on the grill.
I do a pretty good job, but not gonna lie, I'm not cooking the majority of the time. When I'm ordering out, I usually get sushi. There's something about raw fish that I love. It's weird. I don't even get fancy rolls. I just get the sushi, like traditional, like the little bed of rice. I usually get brown rice with the little fish on top, maybe a tiny bit of soy sauce because I don't want to consume too much sodium.
Yeah, me too. I'm really trying to cut back on my sodium. So when I eat chips, I always make sure to choose low sodium chips.
And my go-to salmon, tuna, I love like a medium toro, which is a medium fatty tuna. Yellowtail is great, mackerel, and then sometimes baby shrimp.
You lost me with all these fish.
It's just absolutely delicious. As far as wasabi goes, I don't like to put too much of it on, but the places that I order, they put just a little bit of the wasabi on the sushi that gives it the perfect amount of kick. My beverage of choice at dinner is a sparkling water that has no calories or sugar in it. For some
Can't say we're surprised.
some reason, ever since I was like 8 years old and I came to the United States, I've been obsessed with sparkling water. I don't know what it is. I remember when I was a kid drinking those cheap seltzers that you can get for like 50 cents in the grocery store, and ever since then I've been addicted. If I'm gonna be snacking late at night, I tend to go for a lower calorie snack. For example, sunflower seeds, my go-to from my Brooklyn days. I do get the jumbo sized version, so they're bigger. I feel like they're easier to eat, and I go for the low sodium option. But a little hack, make sure you measure out the amount that you're eating beforehand, because it's really easy to go through a full bag, and that's a lot of sodium.
I feel like if you saw what I ate, you'd just be sitting there. That's a lot of sodium. That's a lot of cholesterol.
But I have to be biased here. New York City is the best food city. You have, I mean, obviously I'm from here, so I'm biased. You have every type of ethnicity, every type of cooking. You have amazing seafood, the best sushi from Japan. There's nothing your heart can desire, or maybe in this case, your stomach can desire, that you cannot get here in New York City. Whether you're talking about halal food, sushi, bodega chips.
My whole body desires all of that.
Like just everything. Like you can run the gamut in New York City. I love the food here. Like I love the people and I love the food. That's what makes New York City special. Something that I stay away from that everyone seems to love, and I could already feel the hate building up. I don't like ice cream.
7.5 minutes in and we finally agree on something. Ice cream, meh. I kind of feel like it isn't that amazing unless you're putting it on pie or putting it on a cookie. Then I'm getting hungry just talking about it.
I love ice cream milkshakes, and I know everyone's like, are you crazy? There's something about eating ice cream. Maybe it's too cold and I have sensitive teeth, but I just can't eat ice cream. But cookies and cream milkshakes, man. There is nothing more satisfying on this planet than cookies and cream milkshakes. In fact, I'm gonna tell you something interesting right now, scientifically. There aren't any foods in nature that exist that are high in sugar and high in fat at the same time, except breast milk and cookies and cream milkshakes. But cookies and cream milkshakes don't exist in nature, so those are man-made. There you have it. That's what I eat in a day. Obviously not every day, but my advice still holds. Stay happy and healthy.
Aw. Stay happy. Thank you guys for watching my video. This was actually rather educational, and I'm happy that he described a lot of facts that we may not have thought about before, like, you know, or that we have thought of before, like portion control, but just disregarded, and will continue to disregard. So please like and subscribe if you enjoyed. Thank you for watching.